The next speaker will have Sheriff Robert Hudspeth from Wheeler County, Oregon.
Good afternoon. I have to say that speech scared the hell out of me because I don't have anywhere to go now. This was kind of an ad hoc meeting because Gil drafted me here at the last moment. So this is going to be short and sweet and to the point. Anyway, a brief history about myself. I, right now, as Gil stated, am the oldest active sheriff in Oregon at the ripe young age of 70. I joined the Wheeler County Sheriff's Office back in the early 90s when, as well you may remember, Oregon and especially Wheeler County was inundated by over 500,000 rainbows. I don't know how many of you remember that or not, but the county was in dire straits. We couldn't control it, couldn't patrol it. So I volunteered to be a reserve. And later on, I became a deputy, went through and graduated from DPSST Academy at the ripe old age of 58. So I served 10 years as chief deputy until the reigning sheriff at that time decided to run off and elope with his senior deputy. I was called into the office at 9 o'clock on a Thursday, and at 10 o'clock I was handed the keys to the kingdom and bid farewell. So he unfortunately timed that to where it was too late for me to get on the ballot, so I had to go as a write-in. Unfortunately, I ran unopposed and took office in 2008. Now, a little bit about Wheeler County. Wheeler County, there's 1,800 square miles, of which half of them are dirt road. There are 1,500 people and 3 municipalities in the county. We are only the only law enforcement in the county. None of them have marshals or any other Leo personalities. We work 24/7. We're constantly on call. I'm probably the only sheriff that actively still runs radar and traffic. And I have to do that because it's the only way I can keep money coming into the justice of the peace. But I enjoy it if it wasn't for the politics. Now, two factions that I have to deal with in Wheeler County. One, BLM. Two, United States Forest Service. Right. Fortunately, I'm not too concerned with the state forestry because we kind of live and let live. But the United States Forest Service, that's a cat of a different color right there. Now, unbeknown to probably most people in Oregon, back in the mid-90s, the United States Forest Service secretly formed a union with FEMA. A lot of people think FEMA does a lot of good things, and maybe they do, but FEMA is a son of the devil, believe me. FEMA had got together with a local district ranger out of Prineville, and they had decided secretly to set up a cache of weapons and munitions. And in that locale where they were going to secretly bury this, they decided to close all roads and eliminate all grazing rights and build fences. At that time, my brother was the president of the Oregon Cattlemen Association. I gave this information to him. The next day, he went to the district ranger's office, backed him into the corner, and told him if he didn't cease and desist, that the cattlemen were going to hang him in his own front yard. Needless to say, he nipped that in the bud. But please, do not trust FEMA. They're working hands in hands with the United Nations. Yep. And they're out to bury us.
Big time.
Yeah.
And Obama and our beloved Secretary of State Clinton are working hand in hand with the United Nations to enforce the United Nations Small Arms Treaty.
That's right.
If that happens, you can kiss it goodbye.
They just passed it yesterday.
Now the BLM, we have a beautiful John Day River running through Wheeler County. We have thousands and thousands of visitors, of boaters, floaters, fishermen, campers. And right in the middle of that area is a place called the Priest Hole. Now I don't know how many of you have ever visited that, but it's a great place to go and camp and to fish and to hunt. Now the BLM, about 4 months ago, arbitrarily decided they were going to close the Priest Hole. And the Priest Hole probably contributes about 30 to 40% to the Wheeler County economy because of the fishermen. And so when I found out about that, I wrote a letter to the BLM, a scathing letter, in which I advised them that I believed that they were the bastard offspring of the Department of Interior. And if they didn't cease and desist in my county, any fences they put up, any lock gates they had put up, that I would personally tear them out of the ground and destroy them.
All right.
I also advised them that I was the chief law enforcement officer in the county. This was our county, and they were not going to run roughshod over the citizens of Wheeler County. So far, they've kind of backed off, and they've actually told me that they were going to provide us keys to all of their gates. So far, I haven't seen them. Not only that, there are certain places on that John Day River, if our ambulance has to get down the river to somebody that's floating the river in dire need, they'll never make it because there's locked gates going down there. So if that happens, like I said, I will destroy those gates. And I will arrest any BLM that decides to interfere with me.
All right.
Hey, let's hear it, folks. Come on.
Now, the United States Forest Service has approximately 7 campsites within Wheeler County. Every year, I put up fire signs. And these fire signs say there will be absolutely no fires, no pits, no open fires, no barbecues, no ignition sources of any kind. Every time I put them up, the United States Forest Service tears them down. So we're going to go to war.
All right.
And I have told them, and continue to tell them, if I catch anyone tearing down my signs, they will be immediately arrested. Now, I don't like being a hard ass, but it's what they forced me into.
Yeah.
And I have to protect the citizens of Wheeler County. And if we get a fire, we can ill afford to fight it. We can't afford to do anything. Right now, Wheeler County is on the verge of bankruptcy. For years, they received the money from Uncle Sugar on the forest. They spent that money like a bunch of drunken sailors, and now they have nothing to fall back on, and it's woe is me, what are we going to do?
Welcome to Modoc.
Right. Anyway, that's where I'm coming from in Wheeler County. I have only 3 months left on my term, then I'm going to retire.
You got a replacement?
Well, right now, my chief deputy is running. And also, the gentleman we referred to as the bad boy out of Multnomah County. He's running. So hopefully the chief deputy will win out, but I have my fears. But all I can say is pray for me, pray for Wheeler County. Thank you.
Come on, folks, let's hear it. Come on. Yeah, come on.
That's Sheriff Robert Hudspeth from Wheeler County. Next, do you guys want to take a quick break? Say a 5-minute? Yeah. Restrooms are here on your left, and there's some drinks up there. Let's take a 5-minute.